Welcome to a new playthrough of an old game, Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars. And this is the director's cut, so it's a new version. Well, not really new, but it's a remade version. So it runs on Linux, though I've had to work around some sound issues, and it should work now. If it does, you should be hearing some nice music in the background, so you'll know. And we're going to start a new game. I remember I played Broken Sword on my cousin's computer, which was a Mac, because I think it was mostly a Mac game back then. But that was a long time ago, so I don't remember much. We'll see how much I remember, if anything. So let's go.
Paris. City of love, romance, and dreams.
Ooh la la.
So they say. I used to say it too. But ever since that day, the day of the murder, I have always associated my beloved Paris with death. I was at home having a bath when my editor called.
Collard, get your ass over to the Palais Royale now. You got an interview. With Pierre Carchon. Yes, the Pierre Carchon. No photos, so leave your gear at home. He asked for you personally. Don't ask me why. Anyhow, this could be big, so if he makes a pass, don't forget. Just smile, say yes, and keep taking notes.
So charming and so very apt. Pierre Carchon was a media king, a national hero, and one of the most infamous adulterers in Europe. He and his wife Imelda were just one step down from royalty. Whoa, I hate mimes, but unless you humor them, they don't go away.
Creepy.
Here I was, the palace of the Media King and the Ice Queen. I pressed the doorbell and set in motion a chain of events which would change my life forever.
Yes? What is it?
Madame, my name is Nico Collard. I'm here to see Monsieur Carchon.
Come up, we're on the first floor.
Madame Carchon, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'm sure.
The Ice Queen was certainly living up to her reputation. Will you be staying for the interview?
Mademoiselle, I know little of my husband's business affairs, and I care even less. I certainly have no intention of watching him pore over yet another pretty little journalist.
Pretty? You're too kind, madame.
Uh-oh.
Ah, the talented and very beautiful Mademoiselle Collard. Such a pleasure to meet you at last.
Monsieur Carchon, I am honored.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Call me Pierre, please. But I do not flatter you idly. I was a friend of your father. He was a great man.
My father, he never mentioned.
He and I were very close. And then his death, so tragic. I must... Imelda, your damned cat's in my study again. Another Ming vase, I suppose. Excuse me for one moment, my dear girl.
He's a
You
bit creepy
journalists
too.
are getting younger each year.
Perhaps it's the rest of the world getting older, madame. That was no cat.
God, what? Monsieur Carchon!
I knew his mime was bad. Well, it was
He's
pretty
dead.
obvious.
I must call the police. You'd better stay here.
There was a man. It was the mime. Do you think he...
Well, I believe we can rule out suicide, don't you?
No wonder they called her the Ice Queen. She would have been top of my list of suspects if I hadn't seen the attacker myself. And if I hadn't come across a couple of murders just like this already. One of the most important men in Europe murdered. And here was I, Nico Coulard, alone at the scene of the crime. Should I wait for the cops? Or start my own investigation? It was a no-brainer.
Okay, so we wait for the cops, right? No. Here's some kind of information here. Left mouse button, you can perform an action. A briefcase for the inventory. Diary. You can get hints, that's nice. And the spanner to save and do settings and stuff. Right. So that's our diary. We have nothing. And we can get some hints. Right. Let's see. Get used to the controls a bit.
The bookcase was filled with obscure first editions.
Should get some hints
A
about...
bust of Pierre Carchon, humble servant of La France.
Is that him? Let's check behind here. Yeah.
A small round piece of glass had been cut out of the pane. This was a professional job.
Can we look at that specific hole?
I didn't want to cut myself and leave blood on the glass. Call me old-fashioned, but I like to keep my DNA to myself.
Well, sounds reasonable, yeah. Can open though. Look out.
The killer must have used a ladder to reach the window. He was long gone. Guess he folded that ladder up, popped it in his pocket and took it with him.
Okay. What's this thing? Looks a bit weird. There's another bust.
Pierre Carchon again. His eyes seemed to follow me around the room.
He's got two busts of himself in his study. Oh well, let's have a look at the body then.
Mimes and guns don't usually go together, but I had an idea that this was no ordinary mime. I'd come across this murderer before and written about him. The costume killer. At least that's what I'd called him.
Right. Oh, something in his
Some
pocket.
people hate searching corpses for clues. Me, I'm okay with it. Reminds me of an old boyfriend.
What?
In his pocket, I found a ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. Taking the ticket meant I'd tampered with the evidence. There was no going back now.
I guess we're taking the law into our own hands, sort of.
Carchon had been shot.
Yeah, that's obvious.
I closed his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow.
Sure. Can we open them
I
again?
opened his eyes. Best to leave the crime scene as I found it.
Alright. Love that.
It was one of my hair clips. My favorite, in fact. It must have fallen when I was knocked down.
Good. Don't leave, suspicious things around. So, right. We've got the hairpin and we got this one, this ticket. Can we look at it? No?
It was a boat ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. When I was a little girl,
What's
Papa
that?
used to take me on the Bateau Mouche as a treat.
Bateau. Is that a boat? Something?
It was one of my hair clips. My favorite, in fact.
A favorite hair clip. Right. Is there anything else in here? Can we take some books with us? We just walk out of here.
The police could turn up at any minute. Somewhere there were clues to the murder, and I needed to find them.
Right, so we are going to be a secret investigator. We are going to find all the clues before the police, so they can't find them. Maybe.
A Louis XIV table with an antique cloth. Imelda had taste. But hey, with a husband that rich, taste is easy.
Is this a cloth?
I reckoned that cloth might just turn out to be useful.
Oh, so she stole it.
Even my fingernail wouldn't fit into such a small hole.
Okay. Let's try the clip then.
Aha! Nico, you are just so damn good at this stuff.
So what's this?
Instead of comforting Imelda, I was ransacking her flat. Why? Because there was something going on here, and I had to get answers before the cops arrived. And hey, she'd been rude to me, so she had it coming.
Oh, is that how it works? Can we close this again, please? No, maybe she will, yeah. Right, so we looked at that, and there's something lying there as well. Oh, she's right there.
It
though.
was a tube of acrylic paint. French ultramarine. Just the color I was after for my bathroom.
I'm sorry, I have to go. Someone is...
Young lady, what are you doing? Oh, this paint. It's my favorite color.
For God's sake, keep the damn stuff.
Ah, thanks.
Imelda had talent, but I certainly wasn't going to tell her that.
Can we go over here? I don't think we've found everything yet. We've been in there though. Can we go out here? Yeah, we can.
The door was
No?
locked.
Right. Maybe we can open it with our hairpin.
It was going to take more than a hair clip to open the door.
Alright.
I needed the key.
What? Is that the key? What is
A
this?
key.
Oh.
Maybe a safe key.
Okay, so not the door key
A
probably.
modern key on an antique door. It wasn't going to work.
Alright, sure. Let's have some kind of look around for the key. Can we use the phone? Talk to her? I guess we can get some hints from her maybe. If she wants to talk.
Excuse me, madame.
Yes?
Oh. Are these the things I can talk about?
I am so sorry for your loss, madame.
Okay,
No,
that's a
you're
good
not.
start.
You're a journalist. Journalists don't feel sorry.
Not true.
We shall see.
Right. Who's that?
How did your husband know my father?
Oh,
I
it's the
have
father.
no idea.
You didn't know him? Thierry Coulard.
Pierre knew a lot of people I didn't know, most of them women.
Why would a mime want to kill your husband?
Pierre had plenty of enemies. Half the husbands in Paris for a start.
Okay, talk about
Why
him
did
again.
your husband send for me? What did he want to discuss?
I have no idea. His business was his business.
He never told you anything.
No, and frankly I preferred it that way. This is quite a scoop for you. I suppose you're already inventing the headlines.
Just because I am a journalist.
Don't patronize me. You're all cut from the same cloth. Do you have any moral sense at all?
Okay, so it can be nice or not nice. Yeah, we have moral sense, right?
Yes. That's why I do this job.
You do it to see your name in print.
As if. My editor gets the byline, I just do the work.
Well, don't expect my sympathy.
The police will be here soon, madame. Is there anybody you would like me to contact? Family, friends?
No, I have no family. Pierre and I were... He was all I had, really. Not much, was it? The dutiful wife. That was my role. He never talked, never let me in.
I know one thing, madame.
What?
If you want to find out who killed your husband, then you let me do the job, not the police.
Why? How do I know I can trust you?
Your husband invited me here today because he needed me. I think he knew somebody wanted to kill him, and he knew I could help.
I doubt it was your database he was after.
You're wrong. I was onto his killers already, I am sure of it. Please, you owe it to him.
I don't know.
All I need is a few more minutes to look around before the police come.
You really do have a moral sense, don't you? I trust so few people. And perhaps Pierre really did think that you could help. Of course it wouldn't have stopped him seducing you too. Here, take this.
Oh.
It's the key to the drawing room next to the library at the end of the hall. It was Pierre's room. I rarely went in there. I couldn't. I was too scared of what I might find.
This took a good turn.
Thank you. I promise you won't regret this.
You shouldn't really do that kind of thing, though. I think you should just let the police do the job. Can you walk a bit faster? No?
The door was
we have
locked.
to use the key. All right.
Now we were getting somewhere.
Yeah, we're getting into this room. So we're trying to find a safe of some kind, maybe. What's this? Can I turn off the light?
I didn't need the lights on. It was light enough already.
All right. Sure. Guess we might need them some other time. That's why the
Painting showed the Cachons together,
Oh, what's
in
this?
love. As the poet said, the past is a different country. Or did I read that in a fortune cookie?
Looks like they're gonna shoot the dogs.
There
Not
was the
very nice.
very faintest of clicks.
Painting. Oh, can you open it now? Come on. There's a
Behind
safe.
the picture was a safe.
Why is it always behind the picture? And there's the lock. Okay, right. We put this key in there. What is this? Looks moldy.
In the safe was some kind of artifact. There were strange symbols on its surface. It looked like the printer's blocks I'd made at art school. If there was one thing I'd learned about symbols, they are always important. But these symbols scratched into stone were impossible to read. I needed to find a way of printing them. At least the stone was round. But what could I use for ink? And what could I print on? Sure, I was stealing, but I knew Imelda didn't know about the artifact, and Carchon was past carrying.
Wow. She really goes for it. She really thinks that she has a right to do these things. Maybe we can find some paper over here.
As expected, the desk was yet another priceless antique. Yawn. The blotter and in tray had clearly been placed with mathematical precision.
Blotter? Is this a blotter? Is there paper underneath that, maybe?
I didn't need a sheet of blotting paper. Not while it was blank.
Okay, so maybe we use it on here. But what's this?
My heart
Elephant.
skipped a beat. It was a carved elephant.
Elephant?
But not just any carved elephant. It had been made by my father. I knew for certain because in my apartment I had its exact twin, carved into a box he had made. So Carchon had known my father. They really must have been friends. I decided to take the carved elephant. It clearly meant nothing to Imelda.
Okay, you're stealing that too. Sure. So let's look at it. Maybe there's something inside.
It was the beautiful elephant my
If it
father
was a
had
box?
carved.
It's not a box. No. Can we put it in the
no.
in tray? No. No.
I didn't want to take the tray, but I knew that I could use it.
Use it for what?
The in-tray, like everything else in this place, was beautiful. One day I was going to have an in-tray like that, even if I had to sell my apartment to pay for it.
Yeah, look at this in tray. That's something. I mean, you know you made it. You know you made it big when you can have this kind of in tray. I mean, why do you need blotting paper and a nice desk and this thing with the dragons on it? All you need is an ink tray, really. That's all you need to be happy. Happiness is an antique ink tray. Let's have a rest. Sit down on the sofa.
This wasn't the time for me to lie on this sofa doing my Marie Antoinette impression. Though
No?
it is very popular at parties, especially with gay guys. Don't ask me why.
Right. I don't see a better time to do your Marie Antoinette impression. Let's see. Can we get in this? Okay, there's another door here. So we need ink.
Locked. Not surprising, really.
Maybe the key works for that as well.
It didn't work, but
No.
I guess it would have been surprising if it had.
I guess this doesn't work with that. No. Oh, I guess we could use this paint thing actually.
Putting the paint straight on the cylinder would be too messy. The paint would go everywhere.
Okay. Can we put it on the blotting paper then?
The paint would have just soaked into the blotting paper, but the idea was good.
Alright, so that didn't work. What about the elephant?
No.
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 No. Can we open the elephant?
No.
No. Use this on there.
The blotter was flat already. Rolling the cylinder across it would achieve nothing.
Okay. What
The
is this
cloth was
paper?
embroidered with an unusual symbol.
Can we use this on the blotting paper?
No.
No. Use it maybe on this.
No.
No. Use the paint on this.
I smeared the paint all over the cloth.
Wow.
When I do messy, I really like to put my heart into it. I hoped this was going to help. They don't make lace like that anymore.
She ruined
The
it.
cloth was covered in blue paint. I hoped that I hadn't ruined it for nothing.
Well, it would have been funny if she had.
I wiped the paint-covered cloth over the surface of the stone cylinder. It took me right back to art class at school. And Maurice, my gorgeous art teacher. Such a shame they had to fire him. Ah well. Concentrate, Nico, concentrate.
Okay. Let's use this on the blotting paper. See if it makes a pattern now.
Genius. The roller and the paint worked just as I planned. But what did it say?
It's kind of the same pattern as the cloth, it seems. It says sub judice. This SDSSDSS.
It was some
I don't
kind
know.
of coded message. It read, subjudice. I may not have learned a lot as a journalist, but that was a term I knew well.
Oh, really?
It means a legal case that is before the courts. Below it was a sequence of letters that made no sense. I suddenly realized there was a connection between the boat ticket and the coded message. The boat ticket was stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie.
Yeah.
The Conciergerie on the Ile de la Cité, by the river, housed the ancient law courts. So, subjudice could in this case mean literally under the law courts, below the Conciergerie. I was pretty sure I'd found all I could here. And besides, all this opulence was making me pine for my regular life of poverty. This was a huge story. It was also one heck of a puzzle with a lot of pieces missing. But I was going to crack it. And if I could just remember the name of that fancy prize you get for being an ace journalist, I was definitely going to win it this time.
Pulitzer? Let's have a look at the diary. Oh, this is a bit messy. Interview. Creepy mime outside the Carjon apartment. Madame Carjon, cold as ice. M. Carjon, suave and charming, living up to the reputation. Son of a vase smashing. Yeah, I read that. And then Mime Beckon knocked me out. Must get to the bottom of this story before police arrive. Found a stone cylinder. Subject refers to a case under the jurisdiction. Coded message. Follow clues going to Quayside, I think you pronounce it, on the Ile de la Cité. Literally under the conciergerie. Now, I don't know French, so if I pronounce any of the French words incorrectly, just, well, you can correct me in the comments if you like, but I'm probably going to mispronounce a lot of the words. Anyway, I think this is a good place to stop for the first episode. And I hope you enjoyed this game. And if you want to see more, there will be more coming. So I'll see you next time. Bye!